Today we learn the Mathematics 3 for the BTech courses for the stream Computer Science Engineering. Paper code is MCSC 301. For the stream Information Technology, paper code is MIT 301. Today we learn the module 6 of the graph theory. Topics is the graph theory for MCSC 301 and topics is graph theory. Module is 3 for the paper code MIT 301. Today's lecture is 45 for the paper code MCSC 301. Topics is our the graph theory. And lecture 37 for paper code is MIT 301. Module is 3 and topics graph theory. Today we learn weighted graph and the bipartite graph and matrix representation of a graph. Matrix representation, that is the incidence matrix and the adjacency matrix. Today we learn the incidence matrix for the undirected and the directed graph. What is called the weighted graph? A graph or digraph. That means a graph means undirected graph or the directed graph. In the short form is the digraph. Is said to be a weighted graph or the digraph if a required number w is the numerical value for the weight of the edge, is assigned or associated to each of its edge. Then it is known as the weighted graph. That means weight of the edge is given, that may be a numeric value according to the requirement of this. It may be distance, it may be time, it may be the number of human resources using, it may be the measure of the water flow or current flow, like that. The weight of an edge represents in the graph showing in the edge V1 and V2, that edge weight is the 2. V2, V3 weight is 5. V3, V4, that is weight is 3. V4, V6 is 5. V3, V6, that age is 1. V2, V6, that age is weight is 4. V5, V6 is 2. V2, V5 is 3, 4. So this is an example of the weighted graph. This is for a undirected graph. We also show for the directed graph. The digraph shown in the figure, these two are the digraph. Directed graph means each and every edge has the directed from one vertex to the another vertex, start vertex to the end vertex. Weighted graph. This might represents a pipeline that carries the water from the vertex. This is the O. This is 0. This is the labeling is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is starting from the 0 to the 2. This is our the source and this is the sink where it is the end. 0 for the start vertex for the figure 1 and S is for the figure 2. To the vertex 2. This is. And for the second graph, it is the E. As part of a municipal water system, the weight on an edge represents the maximum flow that can be passed through this edge and is called the capacity of the edge. If we are considering this is the capacity of the water flow through the pipe represented by this edge, and that unit is that numerical value. This is representing how much maximum water can flow through this pipe from the vertex A to B, like that in other vertex to the other vertex. Suppose C to D is 3. We can call it 3 to 2, each 2, like that. Many situations can be modeled in this way. For example, an oil pipeline, a highway system, a communication network, an electric power grid. The vertices may denote the pumping station, shipping depots, relay station, highway interchanges, etc. We can represent all the models by a directed graph with the weights. Network system also we can represent it by this. Another type of the graph is known as the bipartite graph. What is called the bipartite graph? A graph GVE. V means the vertex set, E is the S set. So we are considering a graph G with the vertex set and the S set. Vertex set never be the null. E set may be the null in a graph. It's called the bipartite if its vertex set can be decomposed into the two disjoint. Two disjoint means we are dividing the vertex set V into the two vertex sets. Suppose V1 and V2 means without common elements, without any common elements. These two V1 and V2 are the subsets of the V, but their intersection is null. That is no common vertex of V1 and V2, such that every edge of G has one end vertex in V1 and another end vertex in V2. So we are getting graph in such a way that for every edge, one end vertex in V1, another end vertex in V2. Hence, there is no edge in G that has both end vertices in V1. So we cannot get any in such edge that both end vertices in V1 or both end vertices in V2. So one end vertices in V1, another end vertices in the V2. Such a graph is also written as G equal to V1, V2, E. E is our the S set. That S set end vertices, one end vertex in V1, another end vertex in V2. And V1 union V2, we will get the vertex set V. So this is the example of the bipartite graph. V1, V2, V4 and V3, V4 is the one vertex set, and W1, W2, W3, W4, W5 is the another vertex set. Each connecting the vertex set V1, W1, V2, W1, V2, W2, V2, W3, V1, W2, like that. That means one vertex set in V1 and another vertex set in V2, and each connecting the vertices in V1 and another vertex in V2. Here the vertex set V is partitioned into the two disjoint subset V1 equal to V1, V2, V3, V4 and V2 is equal to W1, W2, W3, W4, W5. In it may represent the assignment of a set V1 of workers to a set V2 of the jobs. So we can say that the V1 is the set of workers and here the set V2 is the set of jobs that they can perform. So one worker, suppose V1 worker perform the jobs W1 and W2. W2, a V2 worker can perform the jobs W1, W2 and W3 also. V4 worker can perform only one job, W5. So that interlink we can represent it by a graph. Also, that is known as the bipartite graph. Complete bipartite graph. A bipartite graph G equal to V1, V2, E. V1 is the one set of vertex, V2 is the another set of vertex, E is the S set. Is said to be a complete bipartite graph if there is a between every vertex of V1 and every vertex of V2, if there is an edge, should be an edge between every vertex of V1 and every vertex of V2. That means every vertex of V1 is connected to the every vertex of V2 by an edge. There is an edge, there should be an edge. There is an edge between every vertex of V1 and every vertex of V2. A bipartite graph usually denoted by Kmn. It is denoted by Km. So M is represent the M number of vertex in V1 and N represent the N number of vertices in V2. Normally, we are considering that M is less than equal to N. Normally, we are considering M less than equal to N. Our number of the vertices in N is the number of vertices, M is the number of vertices in V1 and N is the number of vertices in V2 respectively. The number of edges in a complete bipartite graph is M into N, because for each and every vertex of V1 gives us the N number of edges. So there are the M number of vertex in V1 and N number of vertex in V2. So we will get M into N number of edges in a complete bipartite graph, because each of M vertices is connected to each of N vertices. A complete bipartite graph K1 N is called a star graph. It is shown in the next slide. Complete bipartite graph. This is K34. This is K1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. K17. This is K17. Only this vertex is connected, all other the vertices. V1 containing only one vertex and V2 containing the another 7 vertices. Complete bipartite graph shown in the figure C. This is K11. This is K12. This is K33. This is K53. But it should be turn it and it should be 35. Matrix representation of a graph. Introduction. Diagrammatic representation of a graph is very convenient for a visual study, but it has limitation of use, because such a representation is only possible when the number of vertices and edges is reasonably small. A matrix is a convenient and useful way of representing a graph for computer processing. When we start and process the graph with their properties, or with the help of the computer, we want to process some or want the result, then the matrix representation of the graph is very important to process in a computer. Many known results of the matrix algebra can be readily applied to calculate the paths, circuits, and other structural properties of the graph. Here we consider two matrix representation of a graph. Graph means undirected graph, and also we find out the digraph also. That is the two matrix representation of a graph. Here we study, one is the incidence matrix of a graph, another is the adjacency matrix of a graph. Graph means undirected and directed graph both. Let G be a graph with m vertices and n number of edges. We are considering a graph which has m number of vertices and n number of edges and no self loops. and with the vertex set is V equal to V1, V2, Vm, m number of vertices and n number of edges, and edge set is E equal to E1, E2, En. Then we can define a matrix as A equal to Aij. Aij is the element of that matrix m cross n, m number of rows and n number of columns, whose m number of rows corresponding to the m vertices and n columns corresponding to the n edges of G. That we can represent, that means value of the Aij, that means value of the elements of the matrix is as Aij is equal to 1 if the jth edge Ej incidence on the ith vertex Vi equal when a edge Ej, that is jth edge incident on the ith vertex, that means it is incident out from Ej incident on the ith vertex Vi, then we are call it is the 1. Suppose E1, edge E1 incident to V3 and V4, so both will be 1. This is for the undirected graph. So one edge. Now we are not considering in this case the self loop. We are considering the graph without the self loop. So one edge incident to two vertex. Those vertices it is incident, that value is 1. If it is edge is not incident on the vertices, that value is 0. That means Ej is not incident to the rest of the vertices except the Vi. Then all the vertices value, corresponding value of the element will be 0. The matrix A is equal to Aij m cross n, m number of rows and n number of columns, is called the vertex edge incident matrix, or simply the incidence matrix, and it is normally denoted by Ag. Sometimes for symbolic representation we also represented by Ig, because this is we are calling is the incidence matrix. That's why some books also it is indicated by or denoted by Ig, incidence matrix. When we study is the adjacency matrix, that is we are represented by Ag. Now we try to find out the incidence matrix of the following graph. This is the graph is given with the help whatever we learn for the element and the number of rows and the number of columns, that we have to find out. Find the incidence matrix of the following graph. How many edges is here first and how many vertex is there? How many vertex? V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, V6. That means 6 number of rows we have to take. And how many edges is there? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 column we will get in the incidence matrix. That means we have how many elements? 6 into 8 elements is there. 6 rows and 8 columns. And each and every element we have to find out the value. That start with the edge. The graph solution. The graph has 6 vertices and 8 edges. Therefore, the incidence matrix is of order 6 cross 8. First, we are considering the, where is the edge? A. We are taking the edges in order A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. We are taking the edge numbering in a order, then it will be easy for us. So A is connecting the V4 and V6. So for the element corresponding to the vertex V4 and V6 with respect to the edge A will be 1 and rest of the element will be 0. Now consider B, it is the same. V4 corresponding to the element to the V4 will be 1 and corresponding to the element V6 will be 1 corresponding to the edge B. Let's see first A. V4 and V6 is 1. For B, V4 and V6 is 1 and rest of the element is 0. Now we are taking F for checking that. F, it is connecting the two vertex V1 and V2. So for V1 it will be 1 and for V2 it will be 1. And rest of the elements will be 0 corresponding to this edge F. F, V1 is 1, V2 is 1 and rest of the elements corresponding to the edge F in that column will be 0. So this is the matrix representation of the graph. So this matrix we are using for our computation purpose and find the result in the computer by using the algorithms. Now, from the incidence matrix, we have to draw the graph. Previously, we learned from graph to the incidence matrix. Now, we learn from incidence matrix to the graph. How many rows is here? 4 rows. And how many columns is there? 5 columns. That means 4 vertex and 5 edges is there. And according to that, if we consider this is the E1, E2, E3, E4, E5. So E1 connecting the vertex V1 and V2. Edge E2 connecting the vertex V1 and V3. E3 connecting the vertex V3 and V4. E4 connecting the vertex V2 and V3. And also E5 connecting the vertex V2 and V3. So this is the vertex E4 and E5 are parallel. We are getting they are the parallel. Solution. Since the incidence matrix has 4 rows and 5 columns, so it is corresponding graph has 4 vertices and 5 edges. Since the incident matrix has 4 rows Since the incident matrix has the 4 rows and the 5 columns, so it is corresponding graph has the 4 vertices and 5 edges. We first plot the vertex points. Observe that the first column has the 2, 1 placed at the first and the second rows. So V1 and V2 are connected by the E1. Second column also has the 2, 1 placed at the first and the third rows. So V1 and V3 are connected by the edge E2. So V1 and V3 are connected by the E2 and so on. The corresponding graph shown below. This is our the incidence matrix. E1 connecting V1 and V2. E1 connecting V1 and V2. E2 connecting V1 and V3. E2 connecting V1 and V3. E3 connecting V3 and V4. E3 connecting V3 and V4. E4 connecting V2 and V3. V2 and V3. E4 connecting V2 and V3. And E5 also connecting V3, V2 and V3. So I already said that E4 and E5 are the parallel edges. This is the incident matrix. From that easily we can prepare that the graph. Example, draw the graph whose incidence matrix is this. Draw the graph whose incidence matrix V1, V2, V2. This is. Now it is here we are considering. Draw the graph whose incidence matrix is this is given. Since the incidence matrix is the 4 rows, 5 columns, so it is corresponding graph is the 4 vertices and 5 edges. Dictated by, first we plot the vertex points, observe that the first column and the two first and the second rows V1, V2 and connected by E1. Second column also has the 2, 1 placed at the first and the second. Both see E1 connecting the vertex V1 and V2 and E2 also, E2 edge E2 also connecting the vertex V1 and V2 are connected by the, so E1 and E2 should be the parallel, and E3 connecting the vertex V2 and the V4, E4 connecting the V4 and V5 and E5 connecting the vertex V1 and V4. This is our the incidence matrix and this is the graph. From that we can easily draw that. Now observations is there, few observations is there. The elements of an incident matrix are either 0 or 1. The number of ones in each row is equal to the degree of the corresponding vertex. A row with all zeros corresponding to an isolated vertex. If any vertex corresponding to the vertex or row have all zeros, that means corresponding to that vertex, degree is 0, that means that vertex is a isolated vertex. Each column of the incident matrix has exactly 2 ones since every edge is incident on exactly 2 vertices. So each and every column has 2 ones. Identical column in the incidence matrix correspond to the parallel edges that we already learned in the graph, from incident matrix to the graph already shown. Permutation of any two rows or the column in the incidence matrix corresponds to rearranging, or we can say the releveling. If we get the two incidence matrix and both the incident matrix either both interchanging the columns or interchanging the rows interchange or column interchange, if we get the two incidence matrix is the same, then we can say that corresponding graph to that the incidence matrix are equal, or we can call it the isomorphic. We already learned when we are saying the two graph is similar or isomorphic. So one incident matrix corresponding to the one graph, another incident matrix corresponding to the graph. After changing the rows or after changing the column or row by row and releveling that, if we find out both the incidence matrix is the same, we can say that the graph corresponding to this incidence matrices are identical or isomorphic, edges of the same graph. Incidence matrix of a diagram. The incident matrix of a diagram G with the vertex set V equal to V1, V2, Vm and the edges set E equal to E1, E2, En and no self loop is an M cross N matrix A equal to Aij M cross N, that we already learned, whose M rows corresponding to the M vertices and N columns corresponding to the N edges of G is follows. Now here for a diagram, what happened? One edge is incident out from a vertex and incident into a vertex. One is called the start vertex, another is called the end vertex. From the start vertex, it is incident out, and in the end vertex, it is incident in. That element Aij is equal to 1 if the jth edge Ej incident out from the ith vertex. From which vertex it is incident out, that corresponding value of this vertex is 1. Aij equal to -1 if the jth edge incident into the ith vertex. That means end vertex value will be the -1, where the edge is incident in, corresponding to that. Some books treat it is the inverse way, reverse way. This one represented by -1 and this is represented by +1. And if the edges is not incident in or incident out in other vertices, then it is 0. If the jth edges is neither incident out or incident into the ith vertex vi, then that equal to 0. With the help of this definition, we have to find out the incident matrix of a diagram. The matrix A equal to Aij m cross n is called the vertex edge incident matrix or the simply incident matrix of the diagram G, and it is normally denoted by AG. But three things we have to remember: incident out +1, incident in -1. If it is not incident in or out from any vertex, that value will be 0. Write the incident matrix of the following diagram. This is the diagram is given. First, we have to check how many edges, vertices is there and how many edges is there. How many vertex is there? 5 vertex is there. V1, V2, V3, V4 and V5. And how many edges is there? I think there is 8 edges is there. This 4 and this 4. 8 edges is there. Here, V1 and V2 are the initial and the terminal vertices of the E1. So, one by one, if we consider the edge, for E1, V1 is the initial vertex and V2 is the terminal. That means E1 is incident out from V1 and incident into the V2. So corresponding value of the V1 with respect to E1 will be 1, and corresponding value of V2 element corresponding to the V2 with respect to the E1 will be -1. V3 and V2 are the initial and terminal vertices of E2. E2. V3 is the initial and V2 is the terminal vertices of E2, and so on. Therefore, the required incident matrix is. Now consider 3, E3, incident out from V3 and V4. And how many vertices? 5. Let's see. How many vertices is there? 5 vertices is there. How many edges? E1, E2, E8. E1 is incident out from the V1, incident into the V2. E2 incident into V2 and incident out from V3. That's why, and rest of the elements with the corresponding column will be 0. Now, if we compare for the E3, see the E3, V3 positive and V4 negative. V3 positive and V4 negative. Now, let us consider the E7. E7, where is the E7? E7, V1, V5, V1 positive, V5 negative, V1 positive and V5 negative. So you have to prepare the incident matrix with the following the rules, where it would be positive 1, where it would be negative 1 and where it would be 0. Now we have to do from the incident matrix to directed graph. Draw the graph whose incidence matrix is this. It is given. From that we have to draw the directed graph. Solution. The given incident matrix has how many rows? 5 rows. And how many columns? 7 columns. So the corresponding digraph has the 5 vertices and 7 edges. After leveling the rows and the columns, the incident matrix becomes. That means like the previous, we have to level it. Vertex level and edge level. This is we got by leveling V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6, E7. We first plot the vertex points. Observe that the first column has the 1 and -1 placed at the first and the second rows respectively. So arrow, so E1 from V1 to will be V2. So V1 is the initial vertex and V2 is the terminal vertex of the edge E1. Second column, we see the V2 is 1 and V3 is -1. This column is corresponding to the E2. So from that we can say V2 is the initial vertex and V3 is the terminal vertex with respect to the edge E2. E2 and so on we can call it. So from the incident matrix like that we can prepare the directed graph. This is the directed graph. Considering the any one, E6, V1 is positive and V4 is the negative. So direction of E6 from V1 to V4. E6 is V1 to V4, that direction. From E5, V3 to V5, E5, E5, V3 to V5. So next class we learn the lecture 46 for the AMCSA 301 module 6 and lecture 38 for the paper code MIT 301 module 3. Next class we learn the adjacency matrix of a graph. We already learned incidence matrix. Then adjacency matrix for the undirected graph and directed graph. Then we little bit discuss about the isomorphic graph with the help of the matrix property. Then we start the next chapter, the tree and their properties and related theorem.